Welcome to Rooster Radio, a broadcast dedicated to supporting and promoting local artists in the Gaston County and surrounding areas.
All of those series are great in their own right, but South Park's resonated with me the most just because how well those guys have been able to just throw all the absurdity of the shit in modern culture into the face of.
They don't finalize an episode till like 2 or 3 days before it releases, so they can add things that are happening in culture.
What I like about South Park is how they make fun of both sides.
Yes.
They're not. It's not one-sided.
No one is safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that why Chef left? Because there's an interview.
They
with him
made fun of Scientology.
Yeah, Scientology is why he left.
There's an interview where he's like, "I love how we make fun of everything, nobody's safe, blah blah blah, all this stuff." And then they made fun of Scientology. He's like, "I'm out."
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they gave him a choice.
The Scientology people were like, "You've got to leave."
I watched that series that Leah Remini did.
Yes, I did too.
Hey, boy, that's some evil shit they got going on over there, man. I want
That's some
nothing
weird
to do with
fucking
it.
shit.
Scientology is pretty much Star Wars.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
Literally, it's a cult.
One of the most successful cults.
Hey, let's
They're
start
doing
a cult.
good job.
Yeah, well,
They're killing it.
I mean,
any cult that you
I'd be lying.
money, you know.
I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about making this place a church, just for the 501c3
the Church of the
status.
Cock.
Church of the Cock.
Oh
Cock
my
church.
God.
Here's the thing.
Really, Bob?
If I was willing to put in the time and the effort,
I got one path here.
Today, obviously.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
if I was willing to put in the time and effort and resources to making this a nonprofit, there's a lot of reasons why I should do that, but I don't because of like how difficult it is to maintain. It's actually expensive to keep a nonprofit going. Like there's rules that apply that don't apply to just a regular business. Yeah. You know, like we're talking like you have to have a board, you have to have certain percentages. Why you're making so much noise? What are you doing?
I can't help with the door so noisy.
But no, it's a lot. It's a lot, and part of me, sometimes I think, man, I should just make this place a church. But then that flies in the face of so many people that live in this community. I'm not sure I'm ready to take on that fight.
One of the clubs in Charlotte did that.
Yeah, really?
Milestone did, like years ago.
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, it was a punk rock church.
Interesting.
One of the guys who was in a rockabilly band, he actually was the minister for the church.
I just don't want to do the paperwork. Like, it was hard enough getting this place. I'm not going back to the beginning. But anyways, let's do a podcast. Nice shot.
I'm 6 feet tall. What do you expect?
She's heating up. No, NBA Jam.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're talking to Jeff Shrewsbury today from Neptune Flyer. Jeff, say hello.
Hey, what's up? How we doing? I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
All right, Ricky Bobby, put them down.
Okay.
Jeff, thanks for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jeff, I'm just going to start with the story of how we met, I guess. Well, the reason why I want to bring it up is because I learned something, right? Okay. So, like, Jeff did the thing that I ask everyone to do. He went to the website and submitted, it's been Neptune Flyer, like, play the Rooster.
You followed the rules?
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And at the time when you did it, and I'm going to give you context because this is something that we haven't talked about. At the time, I was inundated with emails from bands that want to play here. It was kind of early on, and I was just getting dozens a day. Yep. And I started to kind of respond. I started to kind of get into this mindset where, like, all right, well, I'm getting so many emails. I'm going to give priority to those that are actually coming here and supporting us and this, that. So in my response, I was like, I'm working. I can't remember exactly what I said, but one of the lines in my email was like, come to an open mic or come hang out and support us like that. And when I was doing that at the time, it was more like an invitation to like come be part of the community.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about how it was coming off. And Jeff hit me back and was like, "Well, if you don't think we're good enough, then whatever." I can't remember exactly how he said it, but it was like it was jarring. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Yeah. And then, but before I responded, I went back and read my email. I was
Yeah.
like, "Did I say something wrong here?" And I could see where it was misconstrued as like, well, it's almost like a pay to play kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's probably how I made you feel.
It did.
And,
yeah.
and I in turn was like, well, fuck, man, maybe I should stop saying that because it's, it does kind of have that feeling of like, well, you got to do this to get in here. And it's like, oh, yeah. Then I'm like, well, shit, how many people have I said this to? Yeah. So I stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I stopped like telling people that they should come support the building. But you got to understand, at the time, I was getting so many emails. It was like, let me just prioritize this to the people. And what happened from that was it started a dialogue between Jeff and I. And as a result, he played here last night and he's playing again here in a couple weeks, which is
Yep.
why he's on the show today, by the way. But anyway, I feel like I'm rambling, but I just wanted to thank you for your response because it did it gave me an opportunity to like reassess how I was interacting with some of these people that I don't know. I don't know what their sensibilities are. I don't know what their personalities are. I was just trying to get people to come to the club and try, and if I made anybody else feel that way, please understand it was innocent. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this.
He was learning.
Yeah.
And it just I was just in a weird mood that day. I'm the least confrontational person you'll ever meet, but for some reason that day
You had one of those moments.
I was being pissy that day, and I guess I went off, and
They both learned from this experience.
we both did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to keep an open mind and to listen to people, listen to what people are telling you. A lot of people won't hear you out, or they'll write off your, don't be a this or don't be that. And really, a lot of times people will tell you, through their actions and through their words, how how they feel, what they think. And you should, for someone like me, it's important for me to keep that in mind. I built this place for the artists. I built this place to give artists a home. I need to make sure that I'm fostering an environment that makes everyone feel welcome and appreciated. So we can move on from that now. I wanted to bring that up right up front just to show, hey, I'm still learning, and I
all
want
are.
to be accommodating. And don't think for a second that means you can be an asshole to me.
Yeah, don't. That won't go well.
That will not go well.
People have tried.
Yeah.
But let's talk about
I'm glad
Neptune.
it worked out, though.
Yeah, it did.
In
It
the end,
did.
it all worked out.
And then
I
you
feel
ended
like
up jumping on CMM. We should shout out to Missy Wood,
Missy,
Creative Music
you're awesome.
Management. Since that time, Neptune has joined the CMM family, and
wow.
or Neptune Flyer has joined the CMM family. You've had a lineup change. You got a new bass player,
Yep.
and you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing. I would say you guys. I would say you're a punk band, but you kind of remind me a lot of like the early '90s grunge.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to Bob earlier, and I was like, it's kind of like punk, but it's kind of like grunge at the same time. It's got like that grungy undertone to it.
Does it? I never know what to tell people when they ask what we sound like. I don't try to write it I'm the primary writer in the band, and I don't try to make it sound a certain way. I just write music, and that's how it comes out, and I don't know how to describe it.
So what do you listen to?
I listen to, I would say Nirvana is a big
There you go.
influence.
No surprise there.
A lot of Blink-182.
Yep, I see
No
that
surprise
too.
there. Yeah.
Alkaline Trio, kind of punk rock.
Those influences
90s, 2000
always
punk
they
rock.
always influence you and how you sound. And if it changes, like if you hear a band and you're on that streak of listening to their stuff, it'll change it in a heartbeat how
Yeah.
it sounds.
Yep.
But yeah, it shows. But it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's actually the best way I could describe your music. It's like Blink-182 meets grunge.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
kind of where you're at.
It's
Exactly.
the worst parts of both of those put together.
I mean, at least you're not like on stage just wearing socks.
I mean,
Like what Blink did.
not yet.
Not yet.
No, I'm just kidding. That wouldn't be
That
a good
would
look.
actually might be fun.
It might be fun, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would help your crowd. I think it would push people.
To be an 18 and up show.
Definitely would have to be an 18 up show.
No one,
Have
no
them be
one
the
would
house
show
band
up.
for Burlesque, standing there with their dicks out.
That's not gonna happen.
So, talk to me a little bit about how. Tell your story, man. Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into playing guitar and writing music?
All right, so I grew up in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I think I got my first electric guitar in 1999. I was probably 7th or 8th grade, and at the time, the Offspring were really big. I was trying to be the Offspring and listening to all their music, and then I never really played in any bands. I just kind of played in my bedroom forever, and then kind of as life takes you, you kind of put some of your hobbies to the side and forget about it and work on your career and building your life. So I probably didn't play guitar for 10 years or so. And then I'd say a couple of years ago, I started picking it back up again, and I started.
Well, what was the inspiration? Something happened a couple of years ago that made you decide to pick a guitar up again.
Maybe just going back to my roots. I guess my life was getting to where I wanted it to be, so I was going back to exploring some of my hobbies I had that I put to the side when I was younger.
So you put in all this work into a career.
Yeah.
You got kind of where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I would assume that I could speaking for myself. When you start achieving goals, what the right thing to do is to find new goals, right?
Yes,
And to keep
yes.
building.
Yep.
So it sounds like you had that mentality. Is like, okay, I've kind of gotten where I was trying to be. Now let me focus
Yeah.
on something else.
Yeah. And then I decided I wanted to start trying to write some music, just having fun up in my loft upstairs in my house. And it's so easy to record music now. You
Yeah.
just get a Focusrite and just plug your guitar right into it in your computer. And then I started playing around with that for a while and put out a couple things that I liked, and then decided maybe a year into it that I wanted to put a band together and really push myself to try to play in front of a crowd. So then I found my drummer, Levi. He lived in the neighborhood I lived in. And then my bass player at the time, Alex, we worked together. So we started practicing together for a couple months, then booked some shows and started playing, and it was having a lot of fun with it. And it's just kind of gone from there.
Why Neptune Flyer? Talk about the name.
So it's a weird story. I think I was playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I was trying to come up with a cool name to go. Like, I was streaming it, and I was trying to come up with a cool name, and I'm like, Neptune Flyer. I don't know. It just sounded cool, and it was like my online name, and then I just decided to morph that into the band name, and I don't know. It sounds cool.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all there really is to it. It just I like the
Why Neptune? What is there a?
I think the planet Neptune looks cool. I like the
Neptune does
bluish
look
cool look to it. I don't
Okay.
know. That's really all. I think
It
it
gives me
sounds
a
cool.
weird like, nostalgia thing because I think of Radio Flyer.
Do you?
Yeah,
Okay.
like that's what I think of when I hear it.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Radio Flyer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really all there is to it. I don't know. It's not really that deep. I just kind of gravitate.
You're like, that
towards
sounds
those
cool.
things.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's just like anything in rock and roll. Most anybody that wants to play rock and roll music, like it's either to look cool or get chicks.
Yeah.
That's
I
so
don't
many
think I do
people's story.
either.
Give it time, bro. Give it time.
Well, don't tell my wife.
Well, you got one.
Yeah, I did.
There you go.
I got one.
Shout out to wifey, right?
Shout out, Caitlin. Love you.
All right, so you sounds like you're just doing things right. Tell me about like now that you've got the band together, you're starting to gig around. Are there goals, or are you just having fun? Like, what is the purpose here?
I don't have any specific goals, and that's kind of intentional because I feel like if I put too strict of goals on, it won't be fun and I won't be creative. So I'm just kind of having fun with it. I don't ever think it'll be a full-time thing. I have a great career already, but I do take it very seriously. And I don't know. I'd like to maybe do some mini tours or something, just have some fun, but I don't have any strict goals. Yeah.
Cool. One of the things, so Neptune Flyer played here last night.
Yeah.
They'll be here again on September 16th with Go-Go Pilot and Two Eyes Open.
Yep.
Go-Go Pilot, that'll be their first time playing here.
They're great guys, great band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
And Two Eyes Open, they've been here twice before. We love those guys. They're great. They played 2 shows early on, so
Okay.
they haven't been here for a while.
We played with them before. They're awesome.
Yeah,
Love
they're
that band.
great music, great people.
Yep.
They're a lot of fun. They're easy to work with, and they're going to headline the show, which I'm glad we're giving them that opportunity. That they wanted to headline a show. Last time they were here, we had to cut their set short because we were having technical issues and stuff. So I'm glad we're giving them this opportunity. And Neptune Flyer will be sandwiched right in the middle of there.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
We're not opening this one?
No, Go-Go Pilot wanted to open.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's who we booked the show with, was Go-Go Pilot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so they wanted to open, so you'll be sandwiched in between there. It'll be a fun night of punk rock. Come check us out Saturday, September 16th. It'll be fun.
Yes.
Looking
But,
forward to it.
But yeah, so no, I just I appreciate your approach. You're laid back. You're easy to work with. And by the way, I got some money for you from last night. You cut out of here, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't pay up.
Yeah. I knew I was coming back today.
Yeah.
So.
Well, talk about that for a minute. Like you're gigging around. Have you had a lot of success getting gigs, or has it bumped up since you've joined CMM?
CMM has definitely helped. Missy's just absolutely amazing. But before that, I was just kind of booking shows on my own. And we'd get some here and there. Sometimes some touring bands would reach out to us to have us open for them. But, we pretty much are booked for as much as we can play. Maybe a show a month, 2 shows a month max. I wouldn't say we've had success, but I think we're about where we deserve to be.
That's like that. You have a fair assessment of yourself. That's,
Yeah.
Pretty humble.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Well, we're happy to have you. If you ever want to jump on a show, let us know. That's one of my attitude about booking. Apparently, is not like anybody else's.
No.
I've had a lot of bands have talked to us about they love it here because we kind of have an environment here. We cultivate a culture here that's really friendly to the artists, and
Yeah, that's all I hear back here. Oh my God, this is so. We don't get treated like this. I'm like, okay.
well, I'll be honest. I could see how it can get there.
Yeah.
This is really fucking hard. It's hard to make money doing this because without the built-in, without having a built-in audience where people are coming here to have dinner and stuff like that. There's no revenue. The way the bands get paid is through the door. That's why we have the cover charge to pay the bands. Otherwise, we couldn't afford it. And yes, it's very, very different. So other businesses that are similar to mine, I can see why some people might get greedy. Some people might, get jaded because this is really hard. Nothing upsets me more than when we have this amazing show on stage and there's 12 people here. That it hurts my feelings.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I feel bad for the bands and all that. You get stuck in the emotional part of it. But I'm still willing to do it. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still committed to doing what we do, and I want to make sure the bands get paid. It breaks my heart to hand someone $40 at the end of a night, but then we do have the shows.
What are you talking
where,
about? That's a good payday.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
But we're going to keep trucking along. We're going to keep doing it because I think it's important. I think it's important for not just for the artists, but for the community as a whole. You look at Gastonia, this up and coming town that's like the last frontier around Charlotte that hasn't been completely engulfed with corporate interest.
Yep.
We have this opportunity here to do something different, something original, something that not a lot of places have. I'm committed to the mission. Like I've said many, many times, this was not a money making venture for me. This was a calling for me. Much like you, you got happy with your career, and then something was calling you back to that guitar because that's where your heart's at.
Yeah, I'm not in it for the money. If the money comes, cool, but that's not my motivation. My motivation is just making fun music with my friends and playing fun shows for people.
I think that's a sign of a true artist.
Yeah.
I
It's
guess.
not about the money. It's
It's
about
not
getting.
about
It's
the
about
money.
getting your soul and your heart and your idea out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bob. That's one of the things I respect and love most about artists and working with artists is like having the ability to take what's inside you and put it into words and put it into music that is moving, that that resonates. Like that's a skill I never developed. Like that's why I love music so much is because it offers me that opportunity to take all that shit, all that angst. Like I still have that teenage angst. You know what I'm saying? Like
too.
I still have it.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes the only way to get it out is to hear a song that's saying the words that are put to these sounds that evoke that emotion. It's like that's how I feel right now.
And then sing it as loud as you can. And it just helps get it out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why people love karaoke.
Yeah. You're starting karaoke here, right?
No,
Right.
we're not karaoke.
I heard on your last
Yeah.
podcast your
Well,
rant about
we're going
that.
to do a version of karaoke.
version of it.
First of all, thank you for watching.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe, ring the
Yeah,
bell.
right now I'm working with one of the local musicians. We're trying to put together like a house band that can play just about anything, and then we can have people come in and do like some sort of like rock star or something, whatever we end up calling
It's
it.
not karaoke, but it is.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's just not called
where you can
karaoke.
get up and sing, but you're singing with a live band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I said on last week's episode, the only reason I'm okay with this is because I'm giving these musicians an opportunity to perform.
Yes.
Like it's not so much about the karaoke for me. It's about here's some guys that can make a little extra money doing something that they love to do.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really why I'm okay with it. We don't. I've said it before. There's too much. There's too much money on that stage to just do karaoke.
I have such a good feeling about this. It's going to create something. There's going to be somebody who comes in and it's going to blow these musicians away, and they're like, "Let's start a band." That's what
That's
I want.
already happening.
I know
man.
it happens.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
it happens with open mic, but then that word of karaoke, but not karaoke.
Such a bad word to me.
It is. That's why I said it just
know
like
what's-
that.
you know what's
But it'll
fucked up
it's
about
gonna
it?
bring somebody else out that we don't know about who's like, well, I can't get up and do open mic, but they can get up and do karaoke.
Yeah, we have had people come to our open mic and they'll ask, "Can you play this song so I can sing it?" And I'm like, "No, no," because I can see it in their eyes. Like, no, this is a mistake. And but yeah, what's fucked up about it is I love karaoke.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while. I'm older now, but back in my 20s, I don't know about you, back in my 20s when I would go out, we would love to go do karaoke. I can't sing, but what I can do is I can
Me
rap.
neither.
So I would get up and I would do like Snoop Dogg or House
Really?
of Pain, yeah, Cypress Hill, shit like
I want
that.
to see this.
Hell yeah.
If he does
I don't-
not get up at one of these
You
not
got-
karaoke's and
You
do
gotta,
something,
Yeah.
you gotta get a lot more bruise in me to get me
I
there.
feel like that's possible.
Done.
I mean, we can make
Yeah.
that happen.
Not here. I
Damn
won't.
it.
I won't disgrace my own stage like that.
Private event.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It has been a while. Like I haven't really gone out and done karaoke in probably close to 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm a dad now. Dad, nothing I do is cool anymore.
No.
It's like the minute.
Karaoke with your daughter.
Yeah, the minute you have a kid, whatever cool you had is gone.
Yeah.
My kid said, "Mom, I want to get up and I want to sing." She wanted to sing Jolene by Dolly at a place that did karaoke in Bessemer City. I have never done karaoke. Been in bands, never done karaoke. I said, "Are you serious?" The fact that they wanted to do it, I was like, "Let's go do it. Let's do it." We got up there and we did it together, and
Nice.
that was awesome.
It's a family bonding moment.
It was. It was just, and that was one of those. I was like,
You
"Yay!"
need that little confidence boost. Like I never did it until
Yes.
Jade got me up there, and now I'm singing Kickapoo every fucking weekend.
Okay, I'm going to have to see you
that's
sing, and I'm going to have to
interesting.
sing you sing.
You won't see me sing, but you can see me rap.
Okay, rap.
But yeah, I like Bob's idea. We can do that at a private party.
That
I
sounds
don't know,
like
man.
fun.
I'm so fucking insecure, man. I'm
I am too. This whole getting on stage is scary as hell. This is scary
Especially
for
if
me.
you haven't done it in a while, right?
Um,
Like you said, you stopped and then you restarted. You started the band up, right?
Yeah, I started the band up, but
Yeah.
I never played in front of people before.
See, that's the thing is like you did it to yourself. You were sitting there playing yourself, but
Yes.
it's the same thing. If you kind of like put it on the back burner, it can be a little.
You
Yeah.
did do something last night that really got me.
Okay.
You you said everybody having a good time, everybody happy, and everybody like you're like, here's a song about my dad dying, and I was like, fuck that punch.
Yeah.
So did you plan that, or was that kind of in the moment?
I planned it.
Yeah.
Did you notice that evil grin when he goes, "I planned it"?
It's kind of my weird, twisted humor. My dad
Yeah.
would have laughed at that.
Yeah.
He would have
So,
thought it was
so
funny.
talk about that song for a minute. Talk about
Okay.
like take us through that experience.
So that's a song I wrote last year.
What's it called?
Called Dad, and it's released on Spotify and Apple Music, wherever you want to listen to it. And basically, it's a song I wrote. My dad passed last year, late May, from an addiction, and it's just kind of a song I wrote, just how I felt in the time. I was sad that he passed. I knew he was battling with demons, and I don't know, it's just how I felt in the moment. And I just that's the words that came out.
Was that a lifelong thing for you with your dad? Like, is that something you've been dealing with your whole life, or was it?
He had those addictions basically my whole life, and he lived out in California. We weren't super close most of my life. In fact, I probably went 20 years without even talking to him. But I would say in the last couple of years we started to get closer, especially when we had my daughter Ava.
Did having your daughter change your perspective on your father?
This isn't meant to be therapy.
I was
It's an important conversation to have.
It is. Yeah.
It's an important, and the reason why I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
No, I don't
you know,
know.
I know a lot of people in similar situations whose dads bailed,
Yeah.
and I've seen when they have kids, they're more open to opening the door to having a relationship.
Yes. Yes.
You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's why I asked that question.
Yeah, and my dad's mistakes were all on him. And it just when I had my daughter, I know he always wanted a grandkid. So when I had that, and luckily we got to go out to California it was like the March before he passed, and he got to meet his granddaughter for the first time, and that was really special. And then 3 months later, he was gone. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
It's sad, but it's again, I'm super envious of people like you and your ability to create something from like it's like talk about therapy. Like, what better way to work your way through
Oh, yeah.
the grief
yeah.
process and the emotions you deal with than to create something beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Like, you've got this beautiful song.
Which is terrifying because then you're putting your trauma and in things that are happening in your
Yeah.
life into the world for people to hear.
Yeah.
But then you have so many people that connect with it, and they're like, "Me too, bud. Me too."
I do better with singing the songs I wrote than I do even like talking about them. Like that's my therapy was singing it, not necessarily like this talking about it. Like that's how I feel better getting it out.
Well, sometimes talking about it isn't really for us, right? Like
Right.
talking about it is for someone who might be listening or watching
Yeah.
that might be experiencing, and like it's like there's at least one other person out there that understands.
So I got to ask, from your point of view, how did that song sound from out there?
The sound wise, it sounded great,
Okay.
but that's a shout out to PJ.
Yeah. He did great.
Yeah.
PJ's great.
Yeah, we got-
I only know my perspective of performing it. I don't know if it's awkward out there because it's just
No,
me
I mean it's
singing.
clearly got some sadness to it. Like there is a sadness that felt, but that's the emotion you're conveying.
Yeah.
Like it's this. If you're asking, does the song like the goal? Does it achieve its goal? Yes. You're putting an emotion out there that definitely resonates. And again, it goes back to the connection part of things. Like having not feeling alone.
Yeah.
There's an artist that when I was in my 20s, I got to know this guy. he was a local artist this is when I lived out in near Raleigh, and he gigged around town a lot, and he had his own demons that he battled, and he put out an album, and it's to this day it's one of my favorite albums. But the only time I listen to it anymore is when I'm feeling down, or if I start like sinking into that depression mindset.
Yeah.
I like to play this album because it's not a happy album. Like it's tough. Like it's raw emotion. Most of the songs are about mistakes and failures and heartache and stuff. But the reason why I like to put that on when I start to feel down is because it helps me work through the process of feeling sad and feeling depressed. Because when he wrote that music and when he was playing that music, it was very relatable, and it was a resource for me to deal with grief, anger, depression, all that, and I still and I'm not going to say who it is or what it is because that's mine.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yep.
All right. Sorry.
You can have it.
Yeah, but it's a really sad album, and sometimes listening to that, it moves along the process, and it helps you get happy quicker because you can feel those emotions a little harder,
Yep.
a little
Yeah.
Yep.
and that's kind of what your song can do for people. That's the power of art.
Yeah.
For all those cocksuckers out there that bitch about
Cocksuckers.
and well, just recently the city put out this thing. There's a grant. The city of Gastonia has been given some grant money to pay for artists to paint like the.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If you follow us, you know what I'm talking about.
Electrical boxes.
Yeah, the electrical boxes and things around town that are kind of eyesores where they're at, but they can be painted by local artists to look, kind of create a vibe.
Yeah.
And the Gazette did a story on it. Immediately comments like, why are you wasting money on taxpayer money? And it's like, no, dumbass, it's not. People you voted in office
Yeah.
specifically set this money aside for this purpose.
Right.
If you want to live in a world with gray square buildings and
And
like,
ugly gray electrical boxes.
yeah, that's not human.
Yeah.
I mean, you could drive by, like, you never. I have seen these, like, gone to towns where they've done this, and my favorite one is it's in Johnson City, Tennessee, and it's a raccoon, and it's got lightning bolts and tacos falling down, and the raccoon's like
Nice.
this. I took a picture of it because it made me so happy in that moment, and you're gonna have like a piece of art pop up.
Downtown Hendersonville, North
I
Carolina,
love
has bears
Hendersonville.
everywhere.
Yes.
These
Yeah.
bears, they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're cool. You know what it does? It gives that downtown character that nowhere else has.
Exactly.
Nowhere else has these awesome bears with this awesome.
Lincoln has crazy pots that have faces on it that kind of scare me a little bit.
Oh, the Catawba throwing pots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's unique. It's unique. It reminds me of the Yu-Gi-Oh card Pot of Greed.
and the thing that gets lost on people is like all of these downtowns that do get these grants money or they allocate funds to pay for these projects. It's full circle shit, right? It's like it's investing in the community to make your community a little better, make it more inviting, but you're also providing opportunity for local artists.
Yeah.
If you're at this point, if you're still following us and you're still listening and watching the podcast, and you still have some sort of aversion to investment art, then fuck off, man. Like,
I'm okay with a quarter of a penny of my tax money going to paying these artists to make the place beautiful.
I'm okay with more than
Yeah,
that.
like-
going
Yeah,
forward.
exactly.
Our whole mission here is to like give culture and character to a town that needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that are sitting around, shitting on Gastonia that live here, they're naysaying everything that gets done. It's like you're the problem. You are the problem.
People are trying to make it better, and you're putting a
Yeah.
door there. Yeah.
And
All right,
if
rant
you're-
over.
Sorry.
I would say if you're a local artist, go
I'm with
follow
you.
it and submit your stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Neptune Fly. Sorry.
Back to me.
Yes.
Just kidding.
So,
I apologize if I keep hacking, by the way. I'm sick as a dog still. I'm getting over it, but I
don't
keep
worry
having to go turn and cough, so
please don't get me sick.
I'll try. I'll try.
He's gonna try his best to.
No.
So,
I think I'm getting over it.
so you've got music out on the streaming platforms.
Yep.
Last night you guys did a great set.
Yes.
Will the set in a couple weeks be any different? Like, are you going to mix it up a little bit? Do you have any new stuff, or are you working on an album? Like what's in the plans?
Or something you wanted to try and haven't.
So, not really. It's probably going to be a similar set, to be completely honest. There was a couple new things we did throw in last night, like Seasonal Depression was a new song that we have recorded, ready to go. We'll probably release that closer to late fall or winter. It's more of like a wintry kind of song. But no, with my recent move and career change and all that, I haven't had time to focus on writing new music or recording anything yet. But I hope to. I'm getting settled into the new house, and I see that probably this fall start working on more material. But as far as the set list, it'll probably be pretty similar. We might throw a couple covers in.
Oh, cool.
We'll see how that goes. We were practicing one for last night, and didn't quite get it to where we wanted it in rehearsal, so we scrapped it. But yeah, it'd be pretty similar. Maybe a couple extras.
So if you missed it last night, you have another opportunity. Saturday, September 16th. Come check out Neptune Flyer. They're a great band. Jeff's a great dude. Again, I want to go back to the beginning. I want to thank you for, helping give me some perspective. I respect and appreciate that.
Thank you.
I really do. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before you get out of here? Where to look, link, or, follow social media, all that stuff?
Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, all that stuff. Look us up at Neptune Flyer. What's that?
I said Deezer. That was just a funny word to say.
Deezer.
My awkwardness came out.
Just like thank you for having us, and
Absolutely.
I'm glad what started off as a little butting heads turned into a great friendship. And
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm a very open-minded individual. I want to know if I fuck up. I want to know, I want to learn from mistakes, and
yeah.
Yep.
and I certainly can appreciate that. And it also kind of right off the bat gave me a respect for you that you probably would not have gained without,
Saying,
again,
hey.
don't be an asshole to me.
Be direct, respectful.
Yeah, but
Don't be
being
an
direct and honest, honesty. That's what it
Honesty,
is.
yeah,
Honesty.
honesty.
That's
Not
the
necessarily
word
respect,
I've been
but
searching
honesty.
for this whole time. Is honesty. I'm going to respect that 1,000 times more than any bullshit you send my way. So thank you for that, Jeff. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Everybody, anything else? You good?
No, thanks
right.
for having me on. This is pushing me outside of my comfort zone. This is probably the
I
first
can tell
podcast I've ever done.
your feet have been tapping the entire time. I can tell.
I'm awkward and not
not
good at
good.
conversations, but
It took
like
me.
I said, I like pushing myself out of my comfort zone.
It took me 2 years doing this to get comfortable.
Yeah.
It's weird because you're like, who are you talking to?
I
Except
mean,
for each other.
when we first started recording the show, we were recording it in my home office, the most comfortable of places to be. And I was still super uncomfortable. It took me 2 years to settle in and just be like, all right. Because you know what? You got to get to a point where you just don't give a fuck about whatever people say. Who knows what people are saying about the Rooster or me or anybody? I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep doing this. Either you're into it or you're not. And until, they chain the fucking door shut and take this away from me, I'm going to keep doing it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Don't have an opinion until you come and experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
What, Ron?
That too.
Yeah, I would encourage you, before you cast any judgment, to get your ass down here and check out a show on Saturday, September 16th.
There we go.
Peace and love.
Bye. Thank you.